Hey guys. Okay, cool. So I'm just sitting on my bed chilling. Nate's watching TV. I hope it's not too loud. I hope it doesn't bother you guys while he's sitting over there watching TV. I'm going to do this story time live. So if you comment, I'm not going to be paying attention because I'm trying to tell you guys a story. So this is my prison story time, and we left off yesterday where I was on the compound work crew, which is, like I said, by the way, my name's Nicole. Welcome to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. I am sharing old stories, you guys, from my prison experience. I was in prison from 2008, the latter part of 2008, 2009, the latter part of 2009. So about a year. 2 months in county, 365 in RPF. I was in a boot camp style prison where it was like a behavior modification style prison. So the compound was ran by the inmates. And the place I was at was located in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So we left off yesterday. I was working on the compound work crew. And most of the inmates, you guys, unless you had like a disability or you're handicapped, most of the inmates got put on CWC, the compound work crew, because the other jobs like in the kitchen and doing laundry and filing papers in the office, those were jobs that they saved for the inmates who acted right. Those were like high up jobs. Those were jobs that you had to be trusted, right? You couldn't be just some troublemaker coming in there starting shit all the time. So I was working on CWC for about a week, and it was hard work, you guys. And I just want you guys to imagine, like, you can't wear shorts, you can't take your shirt off. So I'm out there, and it's the dead of the summer. I got a sports bra on, a white t-shirt, and then my yellow scrub basically over that, okay, and yellow pants, white boxers, white underwear, white socks, and boots. So I'm out there in the dead of the summer mowing the lawn, weed whacking, just trimming trees, pulling weeds. I mean, it was work. It was work. And when you were the new person on the compound work crew, what the girls would do is they'd be like, hey, you got to pull up the extra weight. You're the new girl, so we're going to break you in. We're going to give you've got to show us that you're going to be a good team. You're going to be a good member of the team. And so this is where I got to know a lot of the girls on the compound, because in our units, we're separated from everybody. We're only with a certain 60 people. So I was getting to know all the different girls, where they were from. And this prison is located in central Arkansas, and you have girls from all over Arkansas. Some from Louisiana and Missouri. I think there was a couple of girls from like out of state, but not very many. Everybody was from Arkansas. So I was getting to know everybody, and I remember there was just this little really short girl. Her name was Heather. I would say her last name, and I remember it. She was real short, like 4 foot tall. She had red hair, and she was like the leader on CWC. And so when we would go out there to work, like she would give us our assignments, and she would help. She would make sure that we were all doing what we were supposed to be doing, so that way the guards didn't come down on us, And the guards, like I said, they would sit in a guard shack and just chill and watch us while we're out there busting our asses. So I was busting ass for like a week. I mean, I was working hard, you guys, sweating. I probably lost like 15 pounds my first week there. And I was out there working, and one of the guards saw me, and she came up to me and she said, hey, what's your name? And I said, my name's Nicole DeMeo. And she said, okay, I want you to come with me. And I was like, shit, I'm in trouble. What did I do? Like, I'm out here busting ass, She was like, no. I want you to come with me because you're going to work with me. I need an extra hand. And I was like, okay. She's like, yeah, you're coming to laundry. And so this is where it gets fucking cool, y'all. So I didn't know anything about working in the laundry, right? I mean, sure, I knew how to wash clothes and fold clothes and all that stuff, but if you ain't never washed 350 inmates' uniforms and dried 350 inmates' uniforms and pressed them uniforms, then you hadn't done laundry before. This was work. And not only that, but we had to wake up every morning at 2 a.m. and load up in the back of a white pickup truck in the bed of the truck. So every morning at 2 o'clock, the truck would make its rounds and pick each one of us up. And there was usually 1 or 2 of us from each unit, okay? There were 6 units. So there was like 10 of us that worked on laundry at this time. So maybe 8. No, there was about 10 of us. So we didn't take anybody from, remember the first unit, we didn't take anybody from there because that unit was for the girls that were, mentally ill and maybe handicapped. So 5 units, 2 girls apiece. So there's 10 of us. Every morning at 2 o'clock, they would come and they would pull outside the unit. I had to be ready to grab and see. Every night when we would go to bed, you guys, we would take showers, okay? And we would take our dirty clothes off and we would put them into this huge white laundry bag. This bag is as big as my bed, okay? It's a big old laundry bag, okay? And you would put your whites in one bag and your yellows in the other bag. And every night that bag would fill up with everybody's clothes, whites in one bag, yellow in the other bag. Well, the truck would come around and pick me up at 2, and I would have to grab one of those big ass laundry bags, and the girl that was working with me would grab the other laundry bag, and we would drag them from the door of our unit all the way to the truck. And these bags are huge, you guys. Like, it would take 4 of us to pick the bags up above our heads and then throw them into the back of the truck. So that's 2 bags per unit, okay? There's 6 units. So that's 12 bags. No, don't dump them out. We would pile bags, one on top of the other, in the back of that truck. And I'm not even kidding you guys. In the back of this truck, it would be a mountain coming out of the back of the truck. That's how it would be tall. And 2 of us would sit on top of that. And then the other ones would ride on the side. And then one of the girls would ride in the front with the guard. And we did that every morning and picked up everybody's laundry bags. And then we toted them down to the laundry. Now, the reason laundry was so cool to work on was because it was away from everything else. It was all the way down in the cut, right? And it was also right in front of the men's unit. So we could, and you would be there at 2 o'clock in the morning while it was still dark outside. We would sneak cigarettes. We'd find cigarettes get them from the outside, and we'd sneak cigarettes and smoke cigarettes down there. Give me a pinata when you get a pinata, put toys inside of my pinata. Okay. So the laundry was like a coveted position. Like, you wanted to work laundry because Mom, you have to tell us something. Nate, so you have to go. Sorry, guys. Because it was like you get to be alone and you don't have anybody bothering you. Nate, hold on. Let me finish the story and then you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. We just got back from a birthday party. Something. What? Tell them. Okay, I have to get in front of them. No, go ahead. I hope y'all didn't smell that. He just tooted in y'all's faces. Okay, let's carry on. So let me tell you guys about how we would get down. So we would drive the guards driving the truck. We're sitting on this mountain of laundry, okay? And we would back up to this. It would have double doors. It was a huge shed, okay? Just imagine this huge garage shed. And the door would raise up. We would have to grab the bags. These bags probably weighed 50 pounds. They were so big and heavy. Drag the bags into the shed, okay? We'd get them all off, 12 bags, and then we'd shut the door. Then we had to load the washer. Now, let me just tell you something. We would do whites first, and then we would do yellows, okay? But we had to do 12 loads, okay? So it wasn't just like, 12 loads. And these were huge washers and dryers. I would tell y'all something. I got carpal tunnel from pushing, Nate, hush, from pushing the laundry into the washers and dryers and stuffing it in there because you had to push it in with all your might to make sure it was loaded all the way. And then you had to shut it. And let me just give you an example of how big these washers and dryers were. The dryers were so big that you could get inside of it, turn it on, and it would go, and we would do that. We would ride them dryers like they were roller coasters. All you had to do was make sure the heat wasn't on, and you could ride around in it. So the reason why laundry was so bomb to be down there is because the guard that ran laundry was so sweet, you guys. She was like this big chubby lady. She's a black lady, and she was just so kind. She would bring us ribs. She would bring us barbecue steak, donuts, all kinds of free world food. And when you're locked up, you don't get free world food. You get the food that, the inmates cook in the cafeteria, but it's still not the same as free world food. So every morning at 2 a.m., it would take us from 2 o'clock in the morning till 12 noon to finish up with all the laundry. And then after we finished up with the laundry, we had to throw it back on the truck and then drive around and drop it off to each one of the units. I had some of the most fun times of my life in that laundry garage. Like we clowned, we laughed, we cried, we talked about our families. We had a great time. And see, here's another thing that laundry was good because if you had a girlfriend, you could sneak down there and we would watch for people so that way they could hook up with their girlfriends. And see, I didn't have a girlfriend, so I would just be, real talk, I was just watching for folks, because a lot of the times our guard would just like open it up and then leave, and she wouldn't be down there watching us. So like some of the girls that we all worked in laundry, some of the girls were girlfriends, and they would hook up, they would hook up down there. And any time alone was cherished. So that's why it was so awesome being on laundry, because we were down there, and it was awesome. Me and my girls, we would sit out on the back of the garage, on the back of the truck after we got all the loads loaded, and we would watch the sunrise every morning. And it was just like, it was great because we're locked up, and it was a bad situation, but getting to sit there and watch the sunrise, it was great. And it was like freedom, we had that little bit of freedom. There was, on the way down there, like sometimes we would walk up and down. And so on the way down there was this giant like brick thing that was full of water. You guys, when I tell you there was bullfrogs inside of this thing, this big. And every morning at 2 o'clock when we'd be going on our way down there, you could hear them going, rah, rah. It was so crazy. But we would sit out there and we would watch the sunrise, and we would sneak cigarettes, and we would have free world food, and we worked our asses off because we had to get laundry done. But for that work we were doing, we got that little bit of freedom. And I never wanted to fuck that up. And I worked on laundry from my second week in prison till the time I left. And then I realized, like, damn, I'm lucky to have this position because, it was like I had free time. I had time to like be to myself and not have the guards up my ass. And so I was so grateful to that guard for picking me off CWC. So anyways, I love you guys. I just want to tell you all that